Welcome to Yoga with Subhash. In today's segment, we will be practicing the Shirshasana or the headstand along with a few variations. If you are a relative beginner, I recommend practicing the asana close to a wall. That way you can use the wall support if, while you are in the pose, you need to make any adjustments to the position of your hands, head, or the neck. Otherwise, without the support, you can either strain your neck or lose your balance and fall if you try to make any adjustments. So let's get started. Place the mat against the wall and start by sitting in the vajrasana, which is also called the diamond pose. Bending forward, place the forearms on the floor with the fingers nicely and tightly interlocked. Position your hands about 6 inches away from the wall. The distance between the elbows should be about the length of a forearm. Now place the crown of the head against the palms, with the forehead lightly resting on the floor. Curling the toes under, lift the knees and the buttocks off the floor and straighten the legs now. Start walking your feet toward your forehead and try to bring the hips directly above the shoulders. Slowly begin to lift your feet and using the core strength, raise the legs up, keeping the knees bent. When the knees reach a vertical position, raise the feet up as well, slowly, so that the whole body is now in a fully vertical position. In your final position, try to maintain the legs straight without any strain, but keep the feet comfortably relaxed. If you are a beginner, you may like to keep the feet rested against the wall, but try to avoid resting the buttocks against the wall. After practicing for a few days against the wall, you may experiment by lifting the feet off the wall. Once you feel confident of balancing your body in the final position, you may attempt to practice the asana away from the wall. At this point, while in the pose, we will attempt a few variations. Begin by spreading the legs wide apart into a V shape. After a few breaths, we will begin to stretch the toes and the ankles. Start by curling the toes almost like making a fist with the toes, then pull the toes up tight and repeat this move just a few more times. And now begin to rotate the ankle joints. Do a few rotations in one direction and then pause momentarily and then a few in the other direction. You may like to stay in the final V shape for a few more breaths if it's comfortable. And now bring the feet together again. Here we'll practice the Baddha Konasana or the bound angle pose. So join the soles of the feet together and then slowly start lowering the feet down, bringing the heels as close to the buttocks as comfortable. Keep the knees away from each other. Again, stay in this position for a few breaths. Then slowly begin to raise the legs back up to the vertical position. At this point, we will try to bring the legs into the padmasana or the lotus position. So start by lowering one foot and bring it on top of the opposite thigh. Then lower the other foot and cross it over the other thigh in the full lotus position. You can stay in this position for a few breaths and then repeat the pose with the position of the feet and the ankles interchanged. After a few more breaths, raise one leg at a time and bring the legs back to the vertical position. To come out of the pose, we use a technique which is just the reverse of what we used to get into the pose. So start by bending the knees, bringing the heels against the buttocks. Then start lowering the knees toward your chest, and then gradually lower the feet to the floor as well. When the knees and the feet are on the floor, then roll the buttocks back to rest in the child pose, the balasana, for about 8 to 10 breaths. I thank you for watching this video. I hope you will enjoy practicing with me. As always, I'd love to hear your feedback or comments, and I hope to see you back for a future video.